誰の許しを得て表を上げる。あれを恐れることはないだと。
Hello everybody and welcome back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Today I got a special treat for you. I finally have access to all of my accounts and all my different decks, so I'm going to show off a couple for you over the next few days, starting with Eldlich Zoodiac. So Eldlich Zoodiac is one of my favorite decks. It is very beginner friendly. I don't love floodgates so much. We try not to use too many of them, though this is a deck that goes to tournaments all the time. It's very techable. It's worth learning. So the main core of an Eldlich deck, you're looking at 1 to 2 copies of Eldlich the Golden Lord. You don't need to go too crazy because you'll have so many ways to get into this card. Then you have 2 copies of the Cursed Outland. You can cut this down to 1 as well if you wanted to trim the package up. It says you cannot declare attacks except with zombie monsters, big restriction. And you can only use each of the following effects once per turn. You can pay 800 and add a Eldlich monster or Golden Land spell or trap from your deck to your hand. And then if this card is sent from the spell trap zone to the graveyard, you can send an Eldlich or Golden Land spell or trap from your deck to the graveyard, which is pretty good. You can send this to the graveyard yourself with Eldlich the Golden Lord to also get that second effect. Eldlich says you can send this card and 1 spell trap from your hand to the graveyard to target a card on the field and send to the graveyard. If this card is in your graveyard, you can send 1 spell trap you control to the graveyard and add it back to your hand. Then special summon any zombie monster from your hand, and then it gains 1000 attack and defense and cannot be destroyed by card effects. Both of those are hard once per turn, but both of them are amazing abilities. So you'd use that alongside all of these. We have here the Elixir of White Destiny. Special summon a zombie from your hand or graveyard. You're using this just to resummon Eldlich here. For the rest of the turn, you can't summon except zombie. During your main phase, banish a card from your graveyard, set a Golden Land spell or trap directly from your deck. And that would be any one of these. These are trap monsters, so you have the Guardian of the Golden Land. When he is summoned while you have an Eldlich on the field, you can reduce 1 face-up monster to 0. And then while he's in the graveyard, you can banish to set any of your Elixirs, which are these cards here. Now the Elixirs typically summon Eldlich in one way or the other. Scarlet Sanguine is the special summon from the deck or graveyard, so you go ahead, this will get you Eldlich right from the deck. You can play one of these first and then chain this to it, and then these will also get their second ability, which this one, like I said, is reduce a monster to 0. This one will banish a card from either graveyard, and this one will destroy 1 face-up card on the field. This, I believe, is getting put to 2 instead of 1, which is awesome, so that'll be coming up very, very soon. Other than that, it's just honestly really standard hand traps and things. As far as a typical Eldlich list, so Max C, Ash Blossom, an ability to draw off your Max C, Foolish Burials for sending Eldlich to the graveyard. You have Triple Pot of Extravagance because the extra deck is not super important, but hand advantage is. Pot of Prosperity can get you to that perfect card you need to lock your opponent out. The tankies are for the Zoodiac package. That is just these 4 monsters, and the 2 tankies will search them. You typically want the Ram because it does have the ability to, if it's destroyed by battle or card effect, target a Zoodiac in your graveyard and special summon it. And that is very important when you go in for combos with your Chakanine. And then Bunny Blast is just another one. It gives your Xyz monster the ability to negate a spell card that targets it. Alright, so let's see what else we have. We have the triple impermanence, we have 2 Solemn Judgment, double skill drain, double summon limit. Skill drain just turns off monster effects on the field. It's pretty useful since we don't have a lot of monsters. And then summon limit says neither player can summon more than 2 times a turn, so that'll slow your opponent down and force them to play your game, which is the stall game. Now for the Zoodiac package, the problem I see with a lot of videos covering this deck is they don't really explain how these work. These were meta in the TCG, but players who've come from Duel Links or just Master Duel
would not be familiar with these cards, so I'll go over each one of these can rank up into any one of their rank 4 XCs all on their own. They can be the whole material. So what you can do is, say, just summon your Ram, stack a Tiger Mortar, stack a Hammer Kong, stack a Borbo, and then Borbo has the ability, he's important, he said this card can attack directly. And since this card can attack directly, even if you're doing 0, you only have to do a small amount of damage, and then you can... Actually, I don't even think you have to do damage. You can then stack a Zeus on top of it. I think it's just if an XC's monster battled this turn. So you don't have to do damage. Attacking directly is just the safest way. That you can get a 4 material Zeus on the field and wipe the field twice, which is awesome. The other play you can do for this deck is your Zoodiac Trident, which is at 1 for a reason. So this is a quick play, detach a material, target a face-up card, and destroy it, which is beautiful. This is used a lot with Artifact Scythe you can throw in here. You can pop Scythe with a Trident on their turn, locking them out of the extra deck. You can do a lot of things with this, actually. This is honestly just good. You get any one of these, you stack it on top, put it in defense mode, it'll be 1 pop. It's pretty great. There are ways to recycle, so most of these don't have very useful effects. Tiger Mortar is okay. It says once per turn you can detach a material from this card, then target an XC monster you control and attach a Zoodiac from the graveyard to it, which is okay to get a specific material underneath one of your Zoodiac monsters. Borbo attacks directly, as I said. Hammer Kong says your opponent cannot target Zoodiac monsters with card effects, which is okay. But not super relevant. And then Chakanine is probably the next best one. It says once per turn you can detach a material from this card and target a Zoodiac monster in your graveyard. Special summon it for the rest of the turn. Its effects are negated and it cannot be used as a XC, used as material for an XC summon. You can get around this by using Chakanine to resummon your Ram. And then Ram, when it's destroyed by battle or card effect, and you'll try to pop it yourself with your Trident, you can then target a Zoodiac and special summon it. So that could be any of your Xyz monsters. They're really easy to get. If you can get 2 Xyz monsters on the field, I don't have the package in here right now. I don't think I have it on this account, but you can also go into Utopic Draco Future. I believe there's a line, it's any 2 Xyz monsters with the same rank. So you just put 2 next to each other, rank them into the 1, and then rank him up and do another one, and it's a monster negate and steal, which is pretty great. But very unnecessary. This deck is just ultra powerful on its own. And then just a little spicy tech, I have the IP Masquerena into the Nightmare Unicorn, just to spin certain cards that you can't destroy with the Trident, or send to the graveyard with the Eldlich. Really, this is my typical standard of deck. You frustrate them and make them rage quit. So yeah, let's jump into some replays and we can see how this deck does. Alright, we're going to try something a little different today, and we're going to do some live duels. So I'll be able to talk to you as I do this. So we open. Great, we are going first. We're gonna Pot of Extravagance. You have to do this as the very first thing you do, which is fine because it was the very first thing I was going to do. Banish 6 and draw 2. Beautiful. So we have a hand trap for next turn, a Zoodiac to go into Xyz plays, and a Biru just in case he does something crazy. And it looks like he doesn't have Ash, so we're gonna go ahead and curse Eldland. Cursed Eldland can grab a Eldlich or Golden Land spell or trap. So we're going to go ahead and grab our Eldlich, which we can then summon with this Elixir. And we're also going to summon the Ram. We're going to go ahead and rank into a Hammer Kong. And you see it's as easy as just summoning over top of it. And then we're going to throw Dryden on top of that. I like to have 2 materials just so when it comes over to my turn, I can then immediately pop a card at the beginning of my turn as well after they set something up if it survives that long. So the Ram gives it 2000 defense, and you know, this looks pretty good. We're going to go ahead and pass it over to him. Let's see what he has. Now, something you can do, it's pretty fun, makes people rage quit really fast. Go ahead and toggle on. You see I did that with the right button there, and we're just going to go ahead and max C right off the rip. Let's see how he handles that. No Ash for the max C. No response. And Dryden is a quick play pop a face up, so if they normal summon and want to do some XYZ plays, you can just go ahead and negate that. If they try to do that, that's great. We can just Eldlich with our Eldlixir whenever we want to. He summoned, so we get to draw a card. Oh, 10 you summoned so much, this is going to be great. Okay, 2 summons, draw a card. I'm going to let this Eldlixir keep proccing so that he won't be able to tell when my Nibiru is live. Normal summon, add a left-hand shark. Okay, I'm pretty sure that only protects from being destroyed by battle, correct? Let's see, are we about to get crooked cooked? Summon, banish when it leaves the field. I gotta learn how to play this little combo. It seems real obnoxious. This card is special summon from the graveyard. It becomes level 4. To control right hand shark, special summon it, banish it, Xyz. Cannot be destroyed by card effects. That's fine. And this is the one that I believe resummons a normal monster when it's destroyed. So we got the Bahamut Shark. He's going to Toad, so I am in fact going to Nibiru right now. Nibiru over here, since I know it's not Crusadia. After every event, Crusadia gets really popular, so something you'll probably want to do is not summon a monster right there, so that they can't take advantage of boosting off of your monsters. The safest zone is always this one here on the far right, so that Geonator Transverser, I think it's called, or something, can't steal your monster. So he's going to end his turn. I'm not really too concerned anymore. He has no negate. Ooh, we drew into the Solemn. Now, we do have to check what all we banish. So the Unicorn is gone. Zeus is gone. Yeah, all of that's gone. So we're not even concerned with our extra deck anymore. We're going to go ahead and Pot of Extravagance again for 6. That's why I don't bother playing the Utopic Draco and all of that in this deck, because you really just tend not to need it, and it's better to just draw a bunch of cards instead. Nice. So we are going to activate Cursed Outland to search, and we're going to search for one of our Hiqueros. And we do have the Guardian, which will reduce a monster to 0 attack. We're going to go ahead and activate our Eldlich, sending him and the Caro to the graveyard. We're going to go ahead and send the token to the graveyard, and it will just fizzle out of existence. Love that. And then we can go ahead and activate Eldlich, sending the Cursed Eldland on the field to the graveyard. That will let us summon any zombie monster from our hand. Make sure you don't just spam click, because you will click on this Ash Blossom, which you don't want to do. But no, we're going to click on Eldlich, summon him. He's going to boost up to 3500 attack. We can then activate the Cursed Eldland's second effect, which is to add any of these to your hand. So we're going to go ahead and add the Conquistador, which is the pop. Oh, it sent it to the graveyard. Never mind. It sends it to the graveyard, so we should have sent Eldlich himself. Alright, is there any more damage we can really get on the field? No, so it's fine. We're going to swing in for 6,500, not a big deal. So your win condition in this deck is basically just swinging with Eldlich after controlling the game for a while.
So he easily got in the beard the first time, but we're going to set up a summon limit so he can't do a similar combo again. We have the Solemn Judgment to protect against Harpy's Feather Duster or Lightning Storm. We have a Reduced to 0. We have a Summon our Eldlich back from the graveyard. We have Maxi and an Ash Blossom. And we could Ram into a Chakanine for... Yep, actually we can check this out. Ram. I think this is gonna work. You can Ram into Chakanine. I also like just being irritating to people. That's why I play stall, obviously. And then we can Chakanine, detach the Ram. Can resummon the Trident, but would have no materials, which is where the Hammer Kong would come in, I believe. But we can resummon the Ram. You could probably do a Link play here, I don't remember. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and end our turn right there. No extra deck. Now these ones in the graveyard, you can go ahead and activate these. These will let you, I believe, just set an Elixir right from your deck, which is the Scarlet Sanguine, probably the strongest card in the whole deck. And it's passed over to him. So yeah, Eldlich is indestructible right now. It cannot be destroyed by card effects. No other monster effects. We have the Solemn Judgment, 2 resummons of the Eldlich or a summon from the deck. And there's the surrender I was looking for. Nice. Let's jump into one more duel, I think. Okay, and we're back for another duel. This time we're going second, so you get to see what that looks like for this deck. Obviously prefers to go first, but since we have the Eldlich package and the Zoodiac package, it's actually not as bad going second as you'd think. There are actually some blind second variations of this deck. I know he has a fusion monster, though I don't remember what the other material is. There are other variants of this deck as well. Oh, beautiful. Are we playing against Runic? Haha. Now, this is a matchup you might actually see at a local somewhere. Runic versus Eldlich. Zoodiac Eldlich, believe it or not, saw play until surprisingly recently. Even sometimes mixing with pendulums, I've seen Zoodiacs and Eldlich played in pendulums. I can't wait for the new pendulum monsters to come out. Well, he's just got everything, huh? Okay, so he's gonna hug in, discard the Orcus Nightmare, call by the grave the Ash Blossom. Luckily, we just spent a couple days playing with this deck, and it's kind of my new favorite addiction. So I know exactly how to play around this deck. Luckily, we have a very powerful matchup against these guys. Since Huggin does protect from destruction, which is great. But Eldlich does not destroy its sends, which is awesome. So he can go ahead, he's going to scrap Recycler. Send the Harp Horror, most likely. Yep, there it is. And then he's going to banish that to summon the Girsu, which will send the Wand. It's rough when you're playing against a deck that you know exactly what they're going to do. Because I just want to click the button and make it go faster. But they don't go any faster. I'm sure he's learning the deck. Maybe he saw our video. Doubt it, but maybe. So, sending the World Wand. Let's see what he wants to go into. Using the Hugin and the Girsu. Goes in for the Galatea. Galatea is going to activate, returning the Harp Horror. It's an interesting choice. Going for the Orchestrated Return. Oh man, did he not... Wait a second. Yep. Wow, he bricked on Orcus cards. That's rough. Alright, did he draw into any quick plays to draw? He's got the Symbol Skeleton. Probably resummon the Girsu. Is that once per turn? Yeah, it's only once per turn. So how you can, the way you can tell is where it says down at the bottom, you can only use each effective Gearsu, the Orcus Mech Knight once per turn. That means no matter how many copies of this card you have or how many times you resummon them, you wouldn't be able to activate it again. Certain cards, though, only have what's called a soft once per turn, where it just pretty much says once per turn you can do this one thing. I'll have to find a specific card that can do it to show you. So he's got the Dingirsu. Once again, this can protect from destruction, though we can get around that actually with the Eldlich. So I didn't, oh, that's beautiful. He actually didn't search the counter trap because he searched to unbrick. So he's going to go into the IT Masquerena that I wish we had had. It's likely got an Appaloosa to summon on our turn. Oh no, he's going right in for an indestructible Longirsu. Okay. Did you draw into the counter trap? That's the question. And the end phase. Wow. Okay. Let's draw some cards. Oof. That's a beautiful card to draw off the top of the deck. Let's go ahead and pop the Extravagance right in front of the Longirsu. Banish 6, draw 2. And the Ash. But that's fine with me. So, why didn't the Ash work? What? Hey, look. I'm not going to think too hard about it, but it didn't work for whatever reason. Let's go ahead. We'll send the Scarlet Sanguine to the graveyard. We're going to go ahead and send the Dingirsu to the graveyard. Boom. He's a little salty. We're going to go ahead and summon the Bunny Blast. We can rank the Bunny Blast up into... We're just going to go for the full thing. We're going to go for the Hammer Kong. And then we're going to go for the Tiger Mortar. So that's 2 materials underneath, and the Xyz monster itself. We can actually could have done Borbo right there. I'm misplaying, but don't mind me. You can misplay a lot in this deck and still be quite successful. It's not a very complicated deck to play with. So we're going to go ahead. We don't need this Pot of Prosperity anymore. So believe... He says you can send a spell trap you control to the graveyard. Yep. And summon from the graveyard. We'll go ahead and Eldlich, sending this Pot of Prosperity to add him back to the hand and then resummon. God, I'm really curious why that Ash Blossom didn't work. I'm honestly gonna have to go look, right? Ash Blossom negate. Yeah, I have no idea why that happened. Okay, it doesn't matter. Let's do it. The Eldlich can, I believe, just swing right over the Longirsu. Sure enough. Not even a problem. We'll swing in the Borbo. Get our little 800 there. We'll go ahead into the main 2. This is a nice mid-range deck, I think. Switching between having a big boss monster and you know, a lot of counterplay and you know, interactions with the opponent. I try to stay away from floodgates. This is just you know,
a pretty standard way to play. You could play There Can Only Be One, Rivalry of Warlords, Gozen Match. You know, you can do all of that terrible stuff to your opponent, but I try to keep it light. Summon Limit's not like the most outrageous card ever, and Skill Drain, people are so used to playing around that, it's not even funny. So here we have our 4 material Zeus. We actually did it just right. You do need the 2 materials, the 3rd for the monster, and then the 4 bow on top would be 4 materials underneath the Zeus. I know, math. Math and reading. I will do that for you, so you don't have to. So we go ahead and pass. This is a horrendous board to look down on. You got the Eldlich, you got the AA Zeus. Conquistador can pop a face up, which will be your fountain. He's going to Flashing Fire our Zeus, which is honestly fine. I'm not even worried about that. And he's trying to draw some cards. Well, sir, this is a rare MST negate over here, sir. We're going to summon and pop his field spell. And let's just go ahead and summon limit too, because there's no reason not to flip up your floodgates. Let's go ahead. What are his stats? Terrible. Perfect. None of them are good. Just don't worry about it. We're going to go ahead and destroy the fountain. I love that it happens mid-chain like that. That's very cool. They don't know that you're targeting until, well, you don't actually have to target. It's a non-targeting destroy, which is perfect. We've got the Simple Skeleton. Probably going to resummon the Dingirsu. Dingirsu, ooh, nope, he's summoning the Girsu. I don't think he's thinking about the summon limit there. He had the Dingirsu, did he not? He did. I'm not sure why he didn't use it. Yeah, so we are not worried about anything anymore. Now that's an interesting thing you can do is since it negates spell traps in the column, you can then reset your Conquistador to then pop again. Don't know if anyone knew that you can do that. But, so I'm scrubbing back through. I needed to find out why did that Ash Blossom get negated. He called by the grape my Ash Blossom on his first turn, and so his Ash Blossom was negated for me. That's incredible. Alright, that was the Eldlich deck profile. Zoodiac Eldlich is still, as you can see, a super strong deck. So, yeah, thank you so much for checking out the video. Hopefully I've fixed my audio issues a little bit, and we can pull from so many cool decks now that I have this capture card. I'm probably going to go ahead and upload 2 videos right in a row. Small spoiler, if you've made it this far ahead in the video, my next deck is called the Pacifist deck. It is another one of my favorite control decks, and I can't wait to show you. But until then, please subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments if there's anything in specific you'd like me to talk about or show off, and have a wonderful day.